Welcome to Millennium News Hour. I am Tanzeeba Naurin. In today's bulletin, we will present top and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines of the day. Biden talks with Chinese Foreign Minister as he prepares for potential meeting with Xi. US fighter jets strike Iran-linked sites in Syria in retaliation for attacks on US troops. Representative George Santos pleads not guilty to new charges as judge sets September trial. Representative Dean Phillips announces primary challenge to Biden. Judge orders Ivanka Trump to testify in $250 million fraud case. Main manhunt enters third day. Body of missing Milwaukee boy, 5 years old, found in a dumpster, teen among two in custody. Man missing for 2 weeks at sea found alive drifting in life raft off Washington coast. Israeli air and ground strikes intensify in Gaza. Internet collapse cuts territory off from outside. Former Premier Li Keqiang, China's top economic official for a decade, dies at 68. Malaysia picks Sultan Ibrahim to be next king. State secret case, Pakistan court declines bail to Imran Khan. And South Africa beat Pakistan by 1 wicket in World Cup thriller. You are listening to Headlines, now news in detail. President Joe Biden met Friday with China's top diplomat, a conversation that's viewed as the precursor to a potential sit-down with Chinese President Xi Jinping next month. The encounter with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi was the latest in a series of high-level contacts between the two countries as they explored the possibility of stabilizing an increasingly tense relationship at a time of conflict in Ukraine and Israel. The White House said Biden emphasized that both the United States and China need to manage competition in the relationship responsibly and maintain open lines of communication. And he underscored that the United States and China must work together to address global challenges. Biden and Wang met in the Roosevelt Room of the White House, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan were also present, according to administration spokesman John Kirby. Kirby said Biden viewed the meeting as a positive development and a good opportunity to keep the conversation going. Biden had been widely expected to talk with Wang, a reciprocal action after she met with Blinken in June. Beijing has yet to confirm if she will travel to San Francisco for the annual Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit next month, but Biden has said a meeting between the two leaders on the sidelines was possible. US fighter jets launched airstrikes early Friday on 2 locations in eastern Syria linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, the Pentagon said, in retaliation for a slew of drone and missile attacks against US bases and personnel in the region that began early last week. The strikes reflect the Biden administration's determination to maintain a delicate balance. The U.S. wants to hit Iranian-backed groups suspected of targeting the U.S. as strongly as possible to deter future aggression, possibly fueled by Israel's war against Hamas, while also working to avoid inflaming the region and provoking a wider conflict. According to a senior U.S. military official, the precision strikes were carried out near Bakhmut by two F-16 fighter jets, and they struck weapons and ammunition storage areas that were connected to the IRGC. The official said there had been Iranian-aligned militia and IRGC personnel on the base and no civilians, but the U.S. does not have any information yet on casualties or an assessment of damage. The official would not say how many munitions were launched by the F-16s. Representative George Santos of New York pled not guilty Friday to additional charges in a superseding indictment, including allegations of identity theft and transferring money to his personal bank account from his supporter's credit card. U.S. District Judge Joanna Seibert set a trial date for Santos of September 9 of next year, which is expected to last a month. His next status conference is scheduled for this December 12. Santos did not comment to reporters on the way out of the courthouse. A small group of protesters stood outside the building in central Islip, New York, on Friday, waving signs that said, "Expel Santos now," and "Santos stole New York." Santos is accused of stealing people's identities and making charges on his own donors' credit cards without their authorization, lying to the FEC and, by extension, the public about the financial state of his campaign. The U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Brian Pease, said in a statement when the new indictment was announced earlier this month. Pease also said that the GOP congressman falsely inflated the campaign's reported receipts with non-existent loans and contributions that were either fabricated or stolen. For months, Dean Phillips called for a Democratic primary challenge to President Joe Biden, drawing no public interest from governors, lawmakers, and other would-be alternatives. The 54-year-old Minnesota congressman finally entered the race himself on Friday in an event outside New Hampshire's State House, saying it is time for the torch to be passed to a new generation of American leaders. Phillips is highly unlikely to beat Biden. Still, his run offers a symbolic challenge to national Democrats trying to project the idea that there is no reason to doubt the president's electability, even as many Americans question whether the 80-year-old Biden should serve another term. He said in his speech that he would try to fix the economy and warned about high prices and the chaos at our border, all issues that are potential vulnerabilities for Biden as he heads into a likely rematch against former President Donald Trump. And Phillips is trying to engage New Hampshire Democrats angry at Biden for diluting their state's influence on the 2024 Democratic primary calendar, noting that the state had historically been first to vet presidential candidates like me. The judge overseeing the $250 million civil trial against Donald Trump and his company ordered the former president's daughter Ivanka Trump to testify in the case. The New York Attorney General's office also revealed in court the dates it expects the ex-president and his children to testify in the case. Kevin Wallace of the AG's office said they plan on calling Donald Trump Jr. to the stand on Wednesday, Eric Trump on Thursday, and Ivanka Trump on Friday, and then their father on Monday, November 6. Wallace said the AG's office will rest their case following Trump's testimony. Both of Trump's sons are executives at their father's company, and Ivanka Trump is a former executive. The sons were on both the AG and Trump's witness lists. Ivanka Trump was not on Trump's witness list and was challenging the AG's subpoena for her to testify. Judge Arthur Engoron ruled in the AG's favor on Friday but gave her time to appeal the ruling if she chooses. Trump's attorneys had challenged New York Attorney General Letitia James' subpoena to Ivanka Trump, noting an appeals court had ruled earlier this year that she should be dropped as a defendant in the case over statute of limitations issues. Many Maine residents remained under lockdown as the manhunt for a suspected gunman entered a third day. Authorities say Robert Curt killed 18 people in 2 shootings in the town of Lewiston, and now law enforcement officials across the Northeast are searching for the 40-year-old petroleum supply specialist in the Army Reserve. A note found at Kurt's residence during the execution of a search warrant could hold clues, 4 senior law enforcement officers said. It's like a spider's web going out, and you have got to follow all those pieces of the web, said Robert J. Loudon, a criminal justice professor and retired chief hostage negotiator for the New York Police Department, about the hunt for Kurt. Kurt, who had been hospitalized over the summer for mental health issues, should be considered armed and dangerous, authorities said. 2 people, including a 15-year-old boy, are in custody after the body of a 5-year-old boy was found Thursday in a Milwaukee trash dumpster. Prince Macri was reported missing Wednesday afternoon, Milwaukee police said. A cause of death was being investigated, and police said his death was being treated as a homicide. The boy last was seen at his home Wednesday morning. His parents were going door to door Wednesday night searching for him. Neighbor and State Senator Latonia Johnson told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. His body was found about a mile away. A missing alert for the boy was issued to media outlets Wednesday night. Police said a 27-year-old man and the teen in custody are persons of interest in the case. A man on a boat from Washington state that went missing 2 weeks ago was found floating in a raft in the Pacific, the U.S. Coast Guard announced Thursday. One of 2 passengers of the vessel the evening, a 43-foot boat that departed Grace Harbor, Washington on October 12, was discovered adrift in a life raft on Thursday by some Good Samaritans, the USCG Pacific Northwest announced on X. A group of individuals on a fishing trip spotted and rescued the man around 70 miles from Cape Flattery in the northwest corner of Washington. The rescued individual was taken to shore by the Canadian Coast Guard and was reported to be in a stable condition as of Thursday night, per the USCG. The man had been surviving on salmon while alone at sea for 13 days, according to one of the fishermen who said he found him on a raft. According to NBC report, "We pulled him on board. He gave me a big hug and it was emotional," Rand Plains, one of the Good Samaritans, told the news station. The USCG had suspended the search for the missing vessel on October 25 and issued condolences on X to family members of the missing mariners. The other passenger on the vessel remains missing as the USCG continues to investigate the incident. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all at TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your fist. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for global updates. Internet and phone services collapsed in the Gaza Strip under intensified Israeli bombardment Friday night, largely cutting off its 2.3 million people from the outside world and each other, as Israel's military said it was expanding ground operations in the besieged territory. The military's announcement signaled it was moving closer to an all-out invasion of Gaza, where it has vowed to crush the ruling Hamas militant group after its bloody incursion in southern Israel 3 weeks ago. Explosions from a barrage of airstrikes lit up the sky over Gaza City after nightfall Friday when the blackout in internet, cellular and landline services hit. Already plunged into darkness after most electricity was cut off weeks ago, Palestinians were now thrown into isolation, huddled in homes and shelters with food and water supplies running out. The Palestinian telecom provider Peltel said the complete disruption was due to bombardment. Casualties from new airstrikes could not be immediately known in the information blackout. Former Premier Li Keqiang, China's top economic official for a decade, died Friday of a heart attack. He was 68. Li was China's number 2 leader from 2013 to 23 and an advocate for private business, but was left with little authority after President Xi Jinping made himself the most powerful Chinese leader in decades and tightened control over the economy and society. CCTV said Li had been resting in Shanghai recently and had a heart attack on Thursday. He died at 12:10 a.m. Friday. Li, an English-speaking economist, was considered a contender to succeed then Communist Party leader Hu Jintao in 2013, but was passed over in favor of Xi. Reversing the Hu era's consensus-oriented leadership, Xi centralized powers in his own hands, leaving Li and others on the party's ruling 7-member standing committee with little influence. As the top economic official, Li promised to improve conditions for entrepreneurs who generate jobs and wealth, but the ruling party under Xi increased the dominance of state industry and tightened control over tech and other industries. Foreign companies said they felt unwelcome after Xi and other leaders called for economic self-reliance, expanded an anti-spying law, and raided offices of consulting firms. Li was dropped from the standing committee at a party congress in October 2022 and left office in March 2023, despite being 2 years below the informal retirement age of 70. Malaysia's royalty on Friday chose an influential sultan from the southern state of Johor to be the country's next king. The position is largely ceremonial but oversees major appointments such as the Prime Minister and serves as the head of Islam in the Muslim-majority country and the Commander-in-Chief of its armed forces. Malaysia is a constitutional monarchy with a unique arrangement where the throne changes hands every 5 years between rulers of the 9 Malaysian states headed by centuries-old Islamic royalty. Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar was appointed the country's 17th king after a conference of rulers in the capital Kuala Lumpur. The 64-year-old will be sworn in after the incumbent king's term expires on January 31 next year, before a coronation ceremony several months later. The system has been in place since independence from Britain in 1957. The outgoing king, Sultan Abdullah Sultan Ahmad Shah, ascended the throne in 2019. A Pakistani court on Friday declined bail to detained former Prime Minister Imran Khan in a case in which he has been indicted on charges of leaking state secrets. His lawyer said the charge is related to a classified cable sent to Islamabad by Pakistan's ambassador in the United States last year, which Khan is accused of making public. Former cricketer star Khan denies that and said the contents of the cable appeared in the media from other sources. Lawyer Naeem Panjutta said the Islamabad High Court declined Khan's application for bail and for the case to be dismissed. We will challenge it, he said in a post on the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. Khan has been at the center of months of political turmoil in nuclear-armed Pakistan that has shone a spotlight on the powerful military's influence over civilian politics. Khan was forced from office in 2022 after losing a no-confidence vote in parliament. He said at the time the military was trying to sideline him after he fell out with the generals over disagreements about top security appointments. Khan has said the cable he has been accused of leaking was proof of a US conspiracy to push the military to oust him in the 2022 parliamentary vote because he had visited Moscow just before Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 14,676.00. The NYSE Composite is decreased by 182.70 points or 1.23%. Tokyo stock close price is 30,991.69. The Nikkei 225 index is increased by 389.91 points or 1.27%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,017.78. The Shanghai index is increased by 29.49 points or 0.99%. Hong Kong stock close price is 17,398.73. The Hang Seng index is increased by 354.12 points or 2.08%. Bombay stock close price is 63,782.80. The Sensex index is increased by 634.65 points or 1.01%. Let's have a look on today's sports story. South Africa survived a late charge from Pakistan to pull off a thrilling one-wicket win and move closer to the semi-finals of the World Cup on Friday. Aiden Markram hit a solid 91 and at 206 for 4. South Africa were well on course to comfortably chase down a 271-run target. However, it was left to the last pair of Keshav Maharaj and Tabriz Shamsi to score 11 runs while surviving 11 balls. Shamsi survived a leg before appeal that went to umpire's call of first bowler Haris Rauf with 8 needed before Maharaj hit spinner Mohammad Nawaz to the square leg boundary to pull off the win in 47.2 overs, sparking wild celebrations in his team's dressing room. Maharaj, who was 7 not out, also added 10 runs for the 9th wicket with Lungi Ngidi, but Rauf took a stunning catch of his own bowling to send Ngidi back. The win took South Africa top of the table with 10 points from 5 wins in 6 matches. Pakistan, however, have lost 4 in succession after opening the tournament with back-to-back wins. They have 4 points and will need results to fall in their favor if they are to sneak into the semi-finals. This was only the 7th one wicket by a team in all World Cups and second by South Africa. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Biden talks with Chinese foreign minister as he prepares for potential meeting with Xi. US fighter jets strike Iran-linked sites in Syria in retaliation for attacks on US troops. Representative George Santos pleads not guilty to new charges as judge sets September trial. Representative Dean Phillips announces primary challenge to Biden. Judge orders Ivanka Trump to testify in $250 million fraud case. Main manhunt enters third day. Body of missing Milwaukee boy, 5 years old, found in a dumpster, teen among two in custody. Man missing for 2 weeks at sea found alive drifting in life raft off Washington coast. Israeli air and ground strikes intensify in Gaza. Internet collapse cuts territory off from outside. Former Premier Li Keqiang, China's top economic official for a decade, dies at 68. Malaysia picks Sultan Ibrahim to be next king. State secret case, Pakistan court declines bail to Imran Khan. And South Africa beat Pakistan by 1 wicket in World Cup thriller. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website. Our website address is www.millenniumnews24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for all LED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.